Since it's Virgo season, I decided to do a brief video on Michael Jackson, who was a Virgo, and he had his sun and Pluto in Virgo. So his sun was conjoined to Pluto, and that dealt with him being very influential, very powerful as an artist. But it also dealt with his father's influence, his father being very controlling, abusive. Basically, with Sun conjunct Pluto in Virgo in the sixth house, that's representing his father whipping him into shape in order for him to be this consummate performer. But that conjunction has an even darker manifestation, and it can deal with demonic attachment or demonic possession, demonic influence, especially when you take into account that his Pluto is co-ruler of the eighth house, because there's a lot of Scorpio in that eighth house. Actually, the eighth house is mostly comprised of Scorpio. And then to add insult to injury, Michael Jackson had his Mars at the 22nd degree of Taurus. And, Taurus is a sign of possession, and you have to take that literally when we're talking about the spirit world. So with Mars being co-ruler of the eighth house, that made him just naturally susceptible to demonic possession or demonic attachment. And with Mars being at the 22nd degree, that 22nd, like I always say, deals with control or be controlled. And with it involving the eighth house, that can be a demonic entity even, or it can even be his personal demons being manifested. So last night, I came across this video that features a compilation of Michael Jackson's adlibs. You know how he was always like grunting and breathing heavily and sighing and he and all that type of stuff, and doing the woos and the screams and stuff. So I decided to slow the video down. Something just told me to slow it down. So I slowed it down to the possible slowest speed. And when I was listening to it in the slowed down version, him being a tortured soul really started to come through the sounds. And as we all know, Michael Jackson was a tortured soul, primarily due to his upbringing. And I believe that he expressed a lot of his pain through his music, and that can be seen through Mars square Chiron. It was like the pain was coming through his music, whether he wanted it to or not. Actually, let me change that to white so you could see me outlining this. So that Mars square Chiron, that's basically like the pain coming through his voice. And you can hear it when you slow it down, this video, which I'm about to play. So you can just hear him, or I'll just say you can hear a tortured soul screaming out. And while it sounds good in the regular speed and it fits the music, it sounds very traumatic and even disturbing in some cases when you slow it down and you take the music away. So Michael Jackson also had Mars squaring Venus and Mercury in Leo. And again, with Mars being associated with that eighth house through Scorpio, that could deal with at times where he wasn't operating of his own free will. And it could be because of a demonic influence. It started off being his father. Like his father was the first demonic influence in his life. His father being a demon in the flesh. I mean, he even looks like a demon in the flesh. Sometimes you can judge a book by its cover, but it could also be a demonic entity, or you could say it's Michael Jackson's personal demons. Michael Jackson also had a Pisces moon in the first house, which just made him very susceptible to being influenced by the spirit world. And with that moon forming a sesqui square with Jupiter in the eighth, that can make him wide open to demonic influences through actual people even. Makes me think of Quincy Jones as well. But with that being said, I'm going to play this clip. And like I said, when you listen to it, it's kind of disturbing in some parts, but it really does shine a light on Michael Jackson being a tortured soul and how his pain came out through his music, especially through the ad-libbing that he was doing in these songs.